So, because my son's not coming over this weekend and I want to actually keep recording things, can't really work on the Eclipse, so I'm going to do kind of a review of my FRS from a daily driver standpoint, because I bought the car mostly as a daily driver for the beginning, and at some point in my lifetime I'm going to actually mod it and do serious things for it. With that said, I'm more inclined to cover like the little nuances that I've seen, such as bees flying around, things that wear out, things I like, things I didn't like, stuff of that nature. It's probably not going to be the most comprehensive review because, you know, there's people who've driven it, have a checklist, all that jazz. I'm going to go more the path of just, how has it been for me? So with that said, let's get in the car. And also with this, I'm testing a new camera, so we'll kind of see how that all plays out and jazz like that. But let's start with some of the basics that I think every FRS owner has complained about. That. I rarely park this car in the garage, mostly because I tend to keep my garage spot for projects, and the other spot is for the wife's parking. So I'd rather have project cars in there than a car just sitting to sit. I bought this car in 2014. It is a 2013 Scion FRS. Let's get in on that there. 59,803 miles. In that time, I have had to do only routine maintenance, which, you know, I was going to have to replace tires. I did oil changes, and I added a quick drain on the oil pan just so I can roll it up, flip the switch, and let it drain out. I also got in the habit of just ordering a bunch of Toyota oil filters because I've still got the drivetrain warranty, and I don't want to play that game of, you know, trying to prove anything. You still have to probably prove anything if the motor were to bite it, but just documented everything. And yeah, ride quality a little bumpier than, you know, your average car, but for me, I kind of enjoyed that. Is very much you feel connected to the road. The steering has always felt great in this car. Stock wheels or the Koenig oversteers I threw on it, I may have started feeling a little rougher on the road with the Koenigs, but they weighed like, I think 3 or 4 pounds more than the stock wheels. I expected that. With that, some of the nuances. If you look down here, let's see if I can get vision. You have dirt, shit builds up there, dirt builds up there, builds up in the seats. Oh, I did buy the WeatherTechs. These things are fucking awesome. They were worth every penny. Yeah, really just interior for the most part, I like. I am 6'2". It is more or less a 3-seater with me in the car because no one can comfortably sit in the back. Just no one. But other than that, I regularly have, you know, my oldest son sitting here, youngest son sitting back there. They are currently 20 and 16. So they're not kids, but they can fit reasonably, and they understand this was a car I really wanted. And when I bought this car, my oldest son we had just finished his project car, which was a 94 Ford Probe. He only got to drive it for about a year before he got T-boned at an intersection, or the ass of the car got hit. So, and he hasn't rushed to get another car just because he's trying to figure out where life's going, all that stuff. But with that said, one of the nuances for me being 6'2", I will sit there and drive, and I'll show you when you're on the freeway or something. Let's see if I can get a proper view. I'll sit with my knee against the handle. Well, if you look, that shit starts just rubbing off. I'm hoping when I paint, because I plan on sprucing up the interior a little, but I'm hoping when I recover those pieces there, it might be a little more durable, because it didn't take long for that to start rubbing off. But in most driving cases, I'm 6'2", 280-ish pounds, and I fit just fine. If you can see where my head clearance is, I've got like maybe an inch there, maybe 2, I'm not sure. And then I'd seen this from outside the car. Let's see if I can actually get it. Let's see if it shows up. If I recall, I've got what looks like just, it's either my steering wheel is dirty as hell, because I don't clean as much as I should, or shit's rubbing off. So that's stuff you probably want to look at if you're trying to keep your car clean. AC has worked great, never had a problem when I use it. I'm at almost 60,000 miles. Transmission's been great, no problems. The stereo may not sound, if you're coming from an older car, the audio in here is fantastic. But if you're an audiophile, yeah, it lacks some of the bass. So, but I will say I've actually been happy with the stereo, because you get like a small little thumb drive, throw it down there, throw a bunch of music on it, and the shuffle on the stereo is horrible. I hate the shuffle on this thing. But overall, just the navigation, you know, you just throw a bunch of music on a thumb drive, works great. You know, it's not the most responsive, but it works, so I've been happy with that. It fits well. I mean, really, interior wise, one of the only things I'll say is every now and then you'll get rattles and things like that that can be a little annoying. I haven't had that big of an issue, and unfortunately, since my car's been worked on because I hit a deer a couple of years ago, I've got some panels. Also, having the window tinted, the shop didn't necessarily put everything back the way it came apart, so I've got some little interior rattles that I still have to take care of. But, you know, what can you do? So, with that said, let's move on to the engine. What I've done, what I feel, blah, blah, blah. Okay, here's some engine audio. Those are crickets you hear. They are fairly prominent on these engines as far as I know. It's hit or miss on like how loud they are, but the engine is a little loud. But I have done nothing to this besides a parent intake filter and the sound delete tube that would go all the way over there. The engine has never been a problem. I've had nothing break. I don't know what the expectations are for cars as they get a little older, but I've had zero problems. I haven't been back to the Toyota dealership since I got the car. So I've got no complaints. I've got complaints with work that other people have done on this car from wrecks and things like that, or one wreck. But with that, let's move on to the final thing, exterior. Some of the nuances that I've seen. You'll notice here, I've done some horrible jobs trying to fill in rock chips. That is one of my biggest complaints with this car, is it seems to just attract rock chips right out the gate. I've had a problem with just little nicks all over the hood. Just, I really wish I would have gotten like an Opticoat or something, or I don't know, anything to cover the front of this car when I got it. But when I bought the car, I wasn't the most comfortable with money. With that, standard plastic headlights, all nice and foggy. Hopefully be fixing that later. Then the standard, you've got your bumper here that just hangs down a little. So, not the best. But from what I understand, there's clips, and I think there's even a recall. Or not a recall, but they made a change to the front bumper or something where you could theoretically go to Toyota and get a part. But anyway, I seem to get... I love the paint, like the color. I kind of wish it was a little more durable, because it does feel like it does not take much to chip the paint on this car. But with this hot lava color, they at least did well on that front. The color is phenomenal. But that's really all there is to the exterior. It's, you know, served its purpose. It's a 2013. I've never had condensation in my taillights, so, you know, who am I to complain? The window tint definitely made for a nice little change in appearance. And hopefully I'll be changing appearance in the next year or two, but I've got so many other projects. And when you work full-time, 2 cars and a parts car is a lot of projects, on top of being one of the only people in my group of friends and family that work on cars. I tend to do a lot of work on other people's cars. So yeah, let's close this out. So with that said, just wanted to do a little overview from a purely daily driving standpoint of, I had to rely on this car. I'm not a journalist. I'm not anything like that, where I've seen a lot of videos where it's someone who, you know, they either got the car, did a review, or their sole purpose of getting the car was to just kind of experience it and move on. I tend to be overly committed to my vehicles, so mine's not going anywhere. And also this video, I wanted to test out the new camera, as I said. So I bought a big boy camera, went away from the Casas, and bought an actual GoPro. So for the few of you that actually watch this, you know, tell me, is the video quality a little better? I don't know. I'll look at it. I might think it looks better, but you tell me. Anyway, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe if you feel inclined. Bye-bye.